boom, I can do that. Right? I can also move around him and then put pressure with the other one here, this way, and switch. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about jiu-jitsu and wrestling positioning and how it relates to striking. And a lot of people think that the difference between striking and grappling submissions is like night and day. You're using the same human body to produce force, right? Essentially, you're trying to produce the most powerful and efficient and well-controlled and well-balanced force to beat your opponent. This is both for striking and for grappling. So striking and grappling are very similar because you're using the same human body, the same parts, for 2 legs, 2 arms, and a head to produce force just like you are in striking. So it doesn't matter whether you're producing force to hit a tennis ball with a tennis racket, whether or not you're throwing a punch, or whether or not you're going for a single leg takedown, you're utilizing the same type of patterns. You might see somebody that does what's called a double push or a double pull, right? And I recognize that you never throw 2 punches at the same time, okay? Even in wrestling, you never really grab for somebody with both hands at the same time. It's one and then the other, okay? And so with jiu-jitsu, I noticed also that when I wanted to maximize pressure on somebody, I would turn one shoulder into them, and I would sit on one hand, or I would sit on one foot. So as opposed to being on top of my opponent like this and trying to apply pressure with the flat part of my chest, I turn to my side and I put my sharper, smaller shoulder to apply more pressure with one part instead of my whole chest, right? And so now when I turn, this is just like throwing a punch, right? If I had an opponent here, I'd be able to hit him pretty hard, right? But if I had an opponent down lower, I would be able to use my shoulder and pin them down with more pressure, turn to the side and pressing off this foot, right? So now imagine this is my opponent holding me up instead of my arm. Now I'm here like this and I lift this leg. This is just about the maximal amount of pressure that I can put down at that point, as opposed to being here like this, turn like this here, even on one hand like this. It's not as much pressure. And imagine I'm using now my chest, okay? And now there's a whole bunch of other reasons why, not just maximal force, but you're more protected that way, right? If I face my boxing opponent like this, instead of like this, I'm gonna be in trouble because I have an opening, okay? If I turn to my side and I put pressure into my opponent and I'm here like this, I'm more well protected, and I'm also prepared to throw pressure in on the other side, right? So for example, I'm here again pressuring my opponent. I'm standing on this leg. I'm lifting this one up so I can maximize my pressure, okay? This is where I'm able to put the greatest amount of pressure. This is where I'm also protected. So if this guy is, imagine he's underneath me, he's trying to underhook me. I have my arm in and I have my hand next to my face. So my underhook I'm not gonna get underhooked, right? Because I'm turned, my face and my hand and everything is tight. And then when he rolls underneath me and I need to apply pressure with the other one, boom, I can do that, right? I can also move around him and then put pressure with the other one here, this way, and switch, right? So I'm constantly able to throw punches by turning and twisting my body and not facing my opponent flat. Right? Not giving my opponent the double push, right? And again, it's not the best way to attack an opponent square chested, right? We want to be flat, we want to be, or we want to be compressed, and we want to be narrow like this, okay? And so if you're constantly compressing or throwing punches, notice how we have this rotation going on, where we're throwing one out and bringing one back, just like running, right? Just like crawling, just like swimming, just like throwing, just like kicking, just like I always say all the time. Again, guys, thanks again for watching. Share, like, and subscribe. Send me some questions and I will do a video just for you, whatever your question is, as long as it's appropriate and I have a good answer. Thanks, guys.